What's up, guys? Today we're making Afro House, the genre that started in South Africa and is currently dominating global stages thanks to artists like Hugel, Keinemusik, and Black Coffee. To nail this sound, you only need to remember three main rules. The groove, heavy organic percussion, and a tempo between 118 and 125 beats per minute. I went with 125 today to keep the energy high. The vibe, deep basses, soft pads, plucks, and live instruments. The vocal, a hypnotic Afro-style vocal to lock in the atmosphere. I built this entire track in just an hour. Let's jump straight into the DAW and I'll show you how. Alright, let's set the tempo to 125 beats per minute. I prefer my Afro House a bit on the faster side. To create the chord progression, I'll be using my software called SIRVO MELODY, but of course, you can create your own progression from scratch. I'll choose the G-sharp key and go with a minor progression. For anyone interested, I'll leave a link to SIRVO MELODY in the description. I just grabbed a quick progression, and now let's drop it into the DAW as a piano. We don't need the full frequency range of the piano, just a bit of the mids. Let's give it a deeper vibe. Next, I'll add some claps with that specific Afro House rhythm. I'll throw in some percussion loops too. A tonal transition and a standard transition right at the start. Then I'll add the kick. I'm cutting the bass notes from the progression and moving them over to a different synth. Right away, I'll apply a pretty heavy sidechain to the bass and piano. We want that nice pumping effect. And of course, some automation for the sidechain. Now we can fill out the track with some background synths. Next, let's add some high end to the drums with hi-hats or shakers. A drone works great here to thicken up the mix. Since our track is in G-sharp minor, I'll make sure these sounds are pitch matched to the key. I'll also add some volume automation. I'll throw a filter on the bass so it doesn't eat up the mid-frequencies. I'll also add some more percussion, like shakers and stuff. Let's move on to the breakdown, so let's add an impact transition. We can bring in some drum elements we've already used to keep the track cohesive. Next, some sustained strings will sound really nice here. And a bit more percussion. We can add more synths and tonal transitions. Obviously, a downlifter and some top impacts too. I'll add another background synth as well. For the second part, I want to create a new progression to introduce some variety. Right now, I'm looking for a progression to spark an idea for the drop. I'm dropping it into the DAW, and I'll try to build a cool rhythm with a pluck. I'm just going to improvise here. I'll copy the bass from this pluck and start initiating the drop. I'll tweak the MIDI for this bass just a bit so it grooves nicely. Of course, we need sidechain. I made it a bit lighter here because I want that pluck to still cut through. We already have plenty of percussion from earlier, so let's copy that over to the drop. We can add a riser to create the buildup. And now, a drum fill right before the drop. I'll slightly change the pluck's rhythm and add a synth for the drop. I'll also throw a filter on the chords so it sounds nice and deep during the drop. Here we need some more effects, maybe an extra crash. I've just added a filter to cut the lows right before the drop to suck out a bit of energy from the buildup. We can spice up the bass line a bit. I'll bump every second note up an octave. It'll make the bass much groovier. I shortened the kick and used it to create the build. Let's add a background synth in the drop as well. We really want to thicken up this mix with sound. To give it more energy, I'll add some brass that follows the bass line. with sidechain and a filter naturally. For the second half of the drop, just for some variety, we can add a pad or something similar. A little extra effects won't hurt either. Right at the very end, I'll add a vocal and fit it into the track. I'll also add a bass line in the build-up, maybe with a slightly different progression. And honestly, that's pretty much it. I did a quick mix of all these sounds and threw on a fast master. Used Soothe 2 to demud the bass so it doesn't sound boxy, plus Ozone 12 for some minor tweaks. And here is what the track sounds like. Of course, I highly recommend the sample pack I used today, Afro House Legendary. Inside, you'll find 500 samples spread across 27 categories, literally everything you need to build a full track, plus 100 presets for Serum 2. More info in the description.